Good Sunday morning, everybody. Chris Allen here on this July 2nd. The SAM channel, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter, all sponsored by Ace Hardware Marketplace. 4th of July weekend. Boy, it was great to have the weather that we had yesterday afternoon and evening for Thunderfest at the National Corvette Amphitheater. It stayed cloudy. The showers stayed away from us. The only light show that we could see was the fireworks themselves instead of the lightning and all that nasty weather. It stayed north of us until late last night, and then we, finally got some of that rain and thunderstorm activity that moved through. But it was refreshing. Can I even use that word? I mean, it wasn't. Usually at Thunderfest it's so hot and muggy and sticky, and then you could get storms. But yesterday there was a breeze, and the cloud cover kept us from getting any new thunderstorms until late last night. But things are going to ramp back up today. There is a severe weather risk. In fact, we are in a level 3 enhanced risk for today on this Sunday. And this is you know, moderate to medium confidence that we're going to get these storms. Remember, as I've said, they're any place, anytime type storms and showers. But some of these could turn severe today. Clusters of thunderstorms moving through. We've got one set moving through this morning. These are not that bad, actually to start out. But the best potential, as you see on the graphic there from the National Weather Service, is going to be, after lunch today, like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, on down to about 8, 9 o'clock this evening. So we have the potential level 3 on the scale, which means there's greater potential for damaging winds, large hail, torrential rainfall. Tornado, as it says there, cannot be ruled out with any kind of severe weather situation. You can't say that the tornado threat is going to be zero, because with the last few events in the last few days, we've had at least one tornado warning and a very close call in some of these cases where a warning is issued, and then it really didn't develop into anything. But that's going to be the case again today. So the main thing you need to prepare for and watch for: the damaging straight line wind effect, downburst of thunderstorms, which I've described here before, doing some of the live severe weather coverage, torrential rain, and the possibility of some large hail up to, quarter size, 1 inch in diameter or so, could even be larger than that in some cases. So this is our threat for today, but mostly this afternoon and into the evening hour. So we are going to keep an eye on that. I will keep an eye on it as we go through the day. What's coming through this morning is, there's some thunder and lightning, but it's not very severe. Okay. Here's a look at the radar as I record this podcast at 5. Well, it's coming up on 5:30. For those of you who are watching it later this morning or later today, I recorded this at around 5:30 this morning. So the radar is not going to look like this at the current time. You need a radar app or something to show what's going on. But here to describe what's happening, we've got this came in actually last night to the west, and now it's just kind of progressing a little bit further north and east. This is another one of those boundaries that is picking up on all the available moisture. Some of this came in last night. Some of it was established even yesterday, and now it's just without any daytime heating is going pretty well. The strongest of the activity right now as of 5:30 this morning is right around Litchfield up to E-Town, and just kind of following the Bluegrass Parkway off to the north and east. There's a few showers around the Bowling Green area, but what I'm anticipating is this will lay down a new boundary, And with any kind of sun today, it's going to heat that available moisture up, and we're going to have new development of thunderstorms come later on. So it's what happens between now and this afternoon and this evening that will determine how things will play out later. But we've got more boundaries, another cold front coming in. We've got all this boundary back here to the west, an area of low pressure. A couple of them actually, Jefferson City, Missouri, down to Joplin, Missouri. All of that is going to play into, plus the available Gulf moisture that continues to sit here and be superheated. That's what's going to give rise to the possibility of more thunderstorms come later today. So, again, keep your weather radios on, keep your phone charged. Make sure you download some weather apps. It doesn't matter from who, and make sure that you can be warned in more than one way if warnings are issued later today for anything that happens. Okay, let's get to current temperatures as of 5:30 this morning. The Kentucky Mesonet still showing that very warm and muggy atmosphere, 60s and 70s this morning. Looking at rainfall past 24 hours, the majority of it was up here along the Ohio River where they had some flood advisories and flood warnings. But look, 2 1/3 inches to over 3 inches to over 3.5 inches. That was in McLean County and Calhoun. Wow. That's a lot of rain in a short amount of time. Down here toward Warren County, 1/4 inch to 3/10 of an inch. Officially at the airport, 29 hundredths of an inch of rain, almost 3/10 of an inch. Grayson County got an inch and a half inch of rain. I think that's Hart. Yep, Hart County. Where's that 8300s I was looking at? There it is. I want to see where that is. Bon Air, in between Bowling Green and Glasgow, picked up 8300ths of an inch of rain. Over a half inch in Scottsville yesterday, but Franklin got nothing. Russellville barely got anything. Todd County didn't get anything. And where the Mesonet site is outside of Morgantown, didn't get a drop yesterday. So again, what have I said? Any place, anytime. And it's going to be that way not only today, but tomorrow and into Tuesday. And from what I'm looking at here, even through the week ahead, we're going to see continual rain chances. This is going to be one of those situations where you can't just say, I think today will be dry, because at some point, somewhere in southern Kentucky, somebody's going to get some rain, because rain chances continue to be in the forecast even for the upcoming week. So here's a look at the 10-day blender. Temperatures are eventually going to come down a bit after we get some of these bouts of rain. And we're looking at 93 today, but remember, we were looking at, what was it, 95, 96 yesterday? We only hit 88. And remember, I said if we can keep clouds in here and keep some rain in here for the first part of the day, that will bring those temperatures down, and we may not make 90s. And so we didn't. 88 was the high temperature yesterday. Officially for Bowling Green, 89 is where we should be on average. So we were just 1 degree shy of the, 1 degree shy of the average for the day. And as I mentioned, that 29 hundredths of an inch of rain at the Bowling Green Airport, we're still behind year to date, just a little over 4 inches. So each time we get one of these complexes coming through, we make up a little headroom and we start to whittle away at some of that rainfall deficit, which is great, but we don't need it all at once. That causes flooding problems, and that just makes matters worse. Some gets, as you saw, some get a deluge of rain and others don't even get a drop. But over the next few days, we're going to see temperatures kind of drop a little from the low 90s into the mid to upper 80s as we get into next week. And that third bar that you see there from left, that is Tuesday. That's the 4th. And on the 4th, we're calling for showers and a few thunderstorms and highs around 90, upper 80s to around 90, we'll call it, because there will be another chance of showers in there, not all day on the 4th, but again, mainly during the afternoon and evening. Any kind of leftover boundaries in there may get tapped into, and we get those showers again. So plan accordingly. Now let's take a look at the models. The models still are in some cases, big disagreement as to what's going on. Like, this one is showing this current band of showers working its way through the area right here. It's got more of a Boeing segment, and I don't really see that happening this morning. Everything is more linear and going a little further north of Bowling Green, as I just showed you on the radar. So the models are having a hard time and even updating correctly with some of this stuff, but we'll use this just kind of as a guide. Some of this that's coming through this morning is going to continue to move on. Whether it moves into Tennessee or not is sort of questionable because it's being steered more, as I painted here just a second ago, off to the north and east. So you may want to ignore some of that that's going down into Tennessee for now. But later on, as we get a break and we get some sun popping out, then that's going to heat up the atmosphere, and we're going to see thunderstorms return right there into the afternoon and evening. And these have, show signs of Boeing segments. In other words, wind driven thunderstorm activity where we can have those straight line damaging winds. We could have large hail, anything that gets if this atmosphere gets superheated today, then look out. This afternoon, this evening, all the threats are on the table, and it could get a bit rough into the evening hours, even into into tonight. Maybe not so much overnight, but the threat is still going to be there, and we're just going to have to watch for all those things possibly happening, even the tornado threat. It's we cannot say there's no tornado threat because that would be inaccurate. That would not be um, that just wouldn't be right to say, because anytime we have these type of thunderstorms, mostly they're wind driven, and sometimes we get the collapsing storms with where the winds just come down and damage a small area like we've seen happen in previous days, and then down the road nothing's touched. That's not a tornado, it's a downburst. So those collapsing storms could play out again today, but sometimes you get a little spin that happens when those things collapse, or at the leading edge of a Boeing segment, you could have a brief spin up, a brief tornado. So we have to leave that in the forecast. So let's take a look at the next 7 days. Here we go. Put this into play. Showers and thunderstorms. We've got some this morning. Here's a cold front, areas of low pressure riding along the front. Everything is just kind of all bottlenecked here in the Mid-South and the Ohio and Tennessee valleys. Here we are into the afternoon. Some of the rainfall heavy, stronger storms, maybe even a few severe. Here we go into this evening and tonight. System comes a little closer, but starting to stall just a bit. Here we go into Monday morning. Maybe a little break at first, but then by afternoon, as the front gets closer, more showers and thunderstorms. Here we go into Monday night. Now, we're showing the front pushing just a little south of us, but this front is going to stall right there in the Tennessee Valley, right across middle Tennessee. Again, as I've mentioned a few times here, placement and timing are the two things we're not sure of. We just cannot pin down when you're going to get rain or who's going to get rain. Again, that's why I'm saying any place, anytime, be on guard, because any of these storms that form could be nasty. They could be just a little rough. That goes for tomorrow as well and into tomorrow night. And here we are into Tuesday the 4th. Dirty high with more showers and thunderstorms with the front sagging a little further south instead of being stalled. But here comes another area of low pressure along with another boundary that's going to push our direction. And while we get maybe a small break, it's going to all come back. And here we go again, rinse and repeat. Wednesday into Thursday into Friday, and another front comes through. This time, we do have more of a Canadian high pressure that builds in back behind it. It's gonna begin that cooling process a little bit, but it's not going to get all that cool. It's going to reset us back into where we should be for temperatures mid to maybe upper 80s. It will try to turn off the waterworks a little, but even into this is next Saturday. High pressure is here, the front's to the south. Even next Saturday, there's a small chance of maybe like a late day shower there. So we're not completely rid of the pattern, but at least it'll be a little more settled down, I guess is the best way to put it, by next weekend. It is these serious bursts of storminess and wind and hail and all that may settle down a little bit and not be so active as we get into next weekend. But for this weekend and even through the 4th, we just continue to have to stay on guard and watch what happens. So today, the showers and thunderstorms coming through this morning are tame, pretty much tame. It's that break between this morning and this afternoon that we got to watch for. And this afternoon and tonight and this evening, that's when we're looking at the best severe weather threat. What city's going to get it? I can't tell you. What time is it going to hit? I can't tell you. I gave you a generalization window of opportunity, but to answer your questions like that, as I've said before, is impossible. Any place, anytime. And we're just going to have to treat it that way. So have your phone, as I've mentioned several times, have a way to get warnings. NOAA weather radio, listen to Sam 100.7. We do instant bulletins, and I'll be watching all day. Even though I'm going to church this morning, I've got my phone with me and watching everything. But it's going to be this afternoon, this evening, that's going to be the time to watch for the more active weather. So, in the meantime, have a great Sunday. Plan accordingly. If you're going to the lake or going out to cook out or whatever, I think you should have several hours today to do that. In the meantime, God bless you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later on.